Well, 20 years back, being a trained soldier to now, I would say, first of all, I'm happy because my life is saved. Because if I remember my colleagues, my fellow children who were forced during the war, who have died, you know, 20 years back, my colleagues who we were so close together, working together, you know, going tonight to attack and coming back to the camp, I would say I'm happy and I'm lucky. And I think God have a purpose for me. And this is the purpose I was born for, to do something extraordinary. Being forced to be a child soldier, I would say, is against human rights because as a child then, I have no knowledge. I didn't even know what I'm doing. I didn't even know what the future holds or what does it mean by development or freedom or peace. We were like dogs who were forced to do whatever they wanted to do through our commanders. And they have these good words and then also feeding us with drugs and other things that makes our mind not even thinking about any other thing but just fighting, just war. So I think it's so difficult to talk about because if I remember, walking at night on foot, thousands of miles on foot, day and night, and then just to find means to survive and to trying to fulfill their needs as commanders. For we as children, we have no obligation, we have nothing to say, we have no right, we have no command. We are commanded by our leaders to do what they want us to do. I'm able to transform my life because I went through a training called Youth Reintegration Training and Education for Peace, which is called YRTEP. It was funded by the United States Office of Transition through World Vision Sierra Leone. And because we didn't know how to integrate or mingle with other communities, we were used to be in the bush, fighting, going up and down, with different mentality. So we went through trainings and we are able to to reintegrate. And also the other thing that helped me a lot is through volunteering program that I do. And then also I migrated from the village to Freetown capital city, where I was able to continue my education. And through the education also, interacting with other people, other friends, youth and children, I realized, I try to adapt to what they are doing every day, what their life is every day, and what they do, all this is a transformation steps that I've gone through to enable me to think something new. And during the war, when our unit was stationed towards Guinea border, fighting the Guineans. And at that time, I remember a time I saved a child at the age of 5 to 6 years. And because of that child, when I came to Freetown, I continued my education. And I remember that time, volunteering first with other organizations, human rights organization. But then education was the key. Education was the need for Sierra Leone because after the Civil War, a lot of houses were destroyed. The country was not in a good form as a post-war country. Reconstruction program taking place. So I decided to start up my charity in 2009, which is called We Yone Child Foundation, to focus more on education, livelihoods, and empowerment for women and girls. So I started my foundation with focus on two communities, slums community in Kroo Bay and then in George Brook. So through that, I was able to, use my skills through the college, through my college learning, using technology like internet to spread and also to read and learn about what is happening in the other parts of the world. I'm able to educate myself, study online, reading books online, taking exams and also courses online. That has enabled me to become more empowered to use the internet to talk about my story, to talk about my vision. And today, my foundation, which is We Yone Child Foundation, is doing amazing work in the communities. And now, in 2019, from 2009 to now, we have expanded our program to 3 districts in Sierra Leone, in the rural areas and also in the slums community in the capital city. We empower women and girls, we build schools, we provide scholarships, we deal with menstrual hygiene, we also do deals with sports programs that bring people together, children, and also advocate for the rights of children in our communities, providing other relief items, also supporting parents with family business grants so that they can able to establish social enterprises that enable them to continue supporting their children's education. We also train teachers to become more empowered and able to deliver well, to provide quality and sustainable education. All of those things, all of these ideas comes from what I've learned from college, what I've also learned from reading online, what I've also learned from through conferences and symposium programs that I've been through, participating in Sierra Leone and outside of Sierra Leone. So it's really amazing. And the problem young people face in Sierra Leone, especially in Kroo Bay and George Brook, because we have different categories. In Kroo Bay, they have the problem of lack of proper education and also accommodation, home. Kroo Bay, pigs and human beings live together, and it's so difficult because, even as we continue working in these communities, the problem of teenage pregnancy is alarming. Because of the poverty, girls get pregnant at an early age, and they have no support for education. Governments have a lot of problem or a lot of issues to address, but we as an organization, we go close and we work direct with the community people, with the beneficiaries, and this helps us to know what exactly they need. And because of the relationship we have, the strong bond we have, they are able to explain to us exactly what they need, which is the education, sanitation, health issue, and also this teenage pregnancy issue that's really, it's a dire need in the community. We try to establish a school here to provide education for the children, and most of those children who are there are either single mothers or single parents or orphan children, and also all their parents are there, but then they are poor. They are only living through fishing in the river, and some also sell coal, and some also sell firewood to survive, and some are doing this petty trading, and also some can how do you call it, some are doing this some drugs or other things that are illegal to the government or illegal to do. But also many children, especially the young girls, are in prostitution because they need to survive. So they go into prostitution to survive. And there is no much attention of government in those areas to transform the community, because the people there realize that if our government take over, they can able to transform the community. So why can't the government transform the community whilst they are there? Which means, you see, removing the slum from the community instead of removing the people from the community. So these are the slogan. And into most time also every year, the place flooding take place. We thank the new mayor of Sierra Leone, who is really helping to, to like using machines, bulldozers, to clear up the gutters. When they clear the gutters, it helps a lot to avoid flooding, within the community. If you go to YouTube, you look at our program in YouTube, you see some of the videos, that we uploaded showing the flooding taking place in the in those communities. In the Kroo Bay, in the George Brook community, no education, no good health, and some of the many parts of the community, vehicle, even bicycle cannot reach there. So we also provide education program there. We establish skill training center to empower young people so that they can able to learn something new, like in catering, computing training, tailoring and dressmaking, and hairdressing, so that they can learn and transform their lives into something else. Children from Italy and the people from Italy can learn from Kroo Bay and George Brook through, the how do you call it? Kroo Bay, people living with pigs together, slums community that are struggling with a lot of poverty, but still they courage themselves despite the situation, and throughout this Ebola and also to coronavirus, all the challenges, people die there because people cannot able to keep to the way, like distancing or social distancing, because in a single home, just a room, you have the mother, the father, up to 8 or 10 children or family living in a single room. Just imagine that. How can you exercise social distancing? There is no way. It's only, the courage they are having, the faith they have, that are encouraging them, that are really making them stand strong together, and they see themselves the same. They also consult each other, because government cannot provide anything. For you in Italy, the government can provide, you have right, you can make a lot of sound or noise, or a demand for right. But here it's difficult. Everything is difficult. Even your rights, you have to be careful, because you have to know what to talk. You have to be careful what to talk. All these are issues that are really affecting those communities, and especially children living. So Italy can learn from, from George Brook situation, from Kroo Bay situation, flooding and other things that is not happening in many parts of Italy. We remember during COVID-19, this COVID-19 issue, we were also so pathetic. We felt so sorry for Italy because we had a lot of death, a lot of issues. But we are happy now that you are able to control all these things. You are able to control all these things, and we are happy, through education and help from other countries. This has been solved. This teach us about love, kindness to one another, and also believe in ourselves, and also respect one another. My hope and aspiration is that I wish to have good partners, people who can able to support our organization, so that we can able to transform more lives, especially children, young people, women and girls in these communities we are working in. Because we believe education, empowerment, like skill training programs, providing scholarship, and also providing education, especially in the primary and secondary level, it will enable, and also to a university, it will enable this, it will enable to take away poverty from these communities, and because a single person alone who got a good education can able to transform an entire community. So we strongly believe in empowerment, education, skill training program, scholarship that will enable children to continue their education and finish their education, and in turn they can even move from this slum to some other better community, or have a better life. So we hope we can have these partners that can work with us. We hope to get more people who can support our program in partnership with our partners in Italy, so that we can continue to transform more lives and continue to help more children in these communities we're working in. Let's say maybe we hope with the support, with the good support, with the right time of support, we can able to raise more than 10,000, 15,000 children and young people in these communities. Thank you.